I'm going to read The Prince and the Pauper, chapter 16, The State Dinner. There you go. The dinner hours drew near it strangely enough. The thought brought a slight discomfort to Tom, and hardly any joy. The morning experience had wonderfully built up his confidence. The foolish cat was at least more wanted to a strange figure. After 4 days, the habit, then, a matured person could have become in a full month. A child perfect in accommodating his desire to circumstance was never more strikingly illustrated. Less privileged ones hurried to the great banquet room and have a glance at matters there whilst Tom is being made ready for the imposing occasion. It is a spacious apartment with gilded and pillars and pilasters and pictured walls and ceilings. At the door stand tall guard, as rigid as statues and dressed in rich, picturesque costumes and wearing halberd in a high scarce which runs the all-round phrase is a band musician of the packed company of musicians of the both sexes, and brilliant attired in the central rooms, often a raised platform in Tom's table, now let the ancient scorecard chronicler speak. A gentleman entered the room bearing a ladder, and along with him another bearing a tablecloth, which after they have both kneeled 3 times with utmost veneration, he spread upon the table, and after kneeling again, they both retire. Thus come 2 others, one with the ladder again, the others with the salt cellar, a plate, and bread. When they have news that the others had done, and praised what was brought up on the table, they too retire with the same ceremonies performed by the first. At last come 2 nobles, richly clothed, one bearing a tasting knife, who, after prostrating themselves 3 times, in the most graceful manner approaching, and rubbed the table with the bread and salt. With as much awe as if the king had been present. So the psalms of preliminaries now fired down, the echoing chorus we hear of will be blessed, and the indistinct cries, blessed for the king, wait for a king's most excellent majesty. These sounds as the momentary repeat, they had to go to nearer and nearest presently, almost in our face. The emotionality appears, the cry rings out, wait for a king. At this instant, the shining pattern appears and defies in the door, at the door. With a measured march, let the chronicler speak again. First come gentlemen, pardons urged the noise of the gutter. A richly dressed and then bareheaded next come, and chancellors between 2, one of which covers the royal sceptre, the other sword of state. In a rather scabbard and storied with its golden filigree, and the point onward the next comes the king himself, to whom, upon his appearance, twirled the trumpets and many drums salute with a great burst of welcome, twice the all-in Galvaris voice in their faces, crying, "Long save the king." After him come nobles attached to his person, and on his right and left marches his guard of honors to his 50 gentlemen pensioners with the gilt battleaxes. This was all fine and present, Tom's first and beat high, and then greater heights was in his eye. He bore himself right, the grace priest, and all the more so because he was not thinking of how he was doing it. His mind being charmed and occupied with the breather sight and sound about him, and besides, nobody can be very impressed with nicely fitting beautiful clothes after he has grown a little used them, especially if he is for the moment unconscious of them. Tom remembered his instruction and acknowledged his greeting with a slight inclination of his plump head, and courteous, I think, yeah, my good people. He seated himself at table without removing his cap, and did it without the least embarrassment, for to eat with one's cap on was the one social royal custom upon which the kings and the countries met upon common ground. Neither the party having any advantage over the other in the matter of old familiarity with it. The pageant broke up the group itself to picturesque and remained beheaded now to the sound of gay music, and the yeomen of the guard entered, the tallest and mightiest men in England. They had been carefully selected in this regard, and but will let the chroniclers tell about it. The yeomen of the guard entered, and the bareheaded, clothed in scarlet, with golden rods upon their spikes, and these went and came and bringing each to a course of dishes and served on plate. These dishes were received by a gentleman. In the same hour they were brought and then placed upon the table, while the tasters gave to each guard a mouthful to eat, or the particular dish he had brought for fear of any poisons. Tom made a good dinner, notwithstanding that he was conscious that 100 wives followed each morsel to his mouth and watched it with this interest, which could not have been more intense if it had been steadily explosive and was expected to blow him up and scare him all about the place. That he was careful not to rest, and equally careful not doing anything whatever for himself to but wait till the proper officer arrived down and did it for him. The gospel, without a mistake, the forest and precious term. When the mist was over last, and then he marched away the mist, and always the bright and the pheasants would eat the half with noises in our ears and brains and birds, rolling drums and the thundering acclamations. He felt that if he had seen the worst of linings in public, it was the odious to which he would be glad to endure several times a day, if by a means he could but, and by himself to perform some of the most formidable requirements of his royal office. Done. Okay, I finished reading chapter 16. How many chapters left here? There are 33 chapters. I read 16. So I read the half of the book. Right.